Oh my, there it is. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the almost world famous uncancelled culture. My name is Porky.
The Louie.
That dude over there named Louie. Cranky Shafty over there.
What up, chat?
What's up, man? How's everybody doing, man? Are we going to start off with the Orenthal J. Simpson?
And I kept hearing that as they said it, and I'm like, just say OJ.
Orenthal J. Simpson, come on.
Now they want to put respect to his name.
Yeah.
Put some respect on that name. Yeah, so the Juice unfortunately passed away today. On today's April 11th. And actually, well, no, you just said he passed away the night before.
From what I heard on the reports is that he passed away last night, and the family, I guess, tweeted or X'd. They X'd the message today, and that's how everybody was able to find out. But yeah. he was at home with his family, with his children and grandchildren, and
did he ever announce that he had cancer?
I never heard it.
He pulled a Wakanda, huh? He pulled a what's his name? Bosworth? Chadwick Boseman.
There you go.
So he didn't tell anybody then.
Yeah, I mean, apparently, I guess his family knew, but nobody else. Yeah,
but he kept that a secret. I was surprised when I saw it. Cranky sent it to us, and I was like, "What? The Juice passed away." So let's get down to the nitty gritty here, Dan. Did he do it?
So it's funny, right?
You're the crime story dude. You're the one that knows all the. You need to fill us in.
It's funny because I'm watching SportsCenter and somebody references it, right? They're like about the case. And they're like, well, let's take a step back and let's go ahead and let's give respect to the family because there's family members that are grieving because he passed and blah blah blah. And so let's kind of focus on that and have that in the back of our mind when we're speaking today about this, right?
Yeah.
And then they bring in dumbass Stephen A on the phone, right?
Okay,
so they bring him on. And all he does is bash this dude the whole time. Basically, he's like, thanks to Johnny Cochran, he got away because we all know, basically he was guilty.
No.
And for him, because they gave him the 33 years for that botched robbery or whatever that he tried to do in Las Vegas.
Right.
They're like, that was just payback for what he didn't get.
Yeah.
And he just went on. And then I switched channels and he's on another freaking show and saying the exact same thing. I'm like, this guy, bro, like he didn't. I'm like, you didn't get the memo. You didn't get the memo, but
he didn't listen. So that I think that's another thing that some people forget too is all that shit he was doing. Like, wasn't he basically going around and beating people up? Right? Is that what happened, or because they stole some of his shit or something like that?
And tried to steal it back.
He tried to steal it back.
Yeah.
It was stuff that he was supposed to have gotten back. They never gave it to him, and so he ended up going to go retrieve it himself.
Going mysteriously to a hotel where they knew where they were at.
Yeah, and went in with a gun and it was
just said, "Listen here, Mister, I need my stuff back." Yeah. That's exactly what Mr. Orenthal James Simpson did. Is it Jay or James?
What is it?
James?
I think it is James, right?
Orenthal James?
I want to say James.
It's kind of hard. Like it's
Juice?
kind of the Juice.
Is it Juice?
No. Orenthal. OJ. But is it hard? Like for the career that he had, he was an all-time leading scorer at one point. Okay. Orenthal James Simpson. So he was the leading scorer. He was the leading rusher. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Of all time, way back.
And he was the first person to rush for over 2,000 yards in a season.
Okay.
And he did it before they had 16 games.
Ah, right.
Yeah. Two-time All-American, two-time rushing champion or something like that.
But he went to USC? He went to USC?
Yep.
So, like, does that... I mean, we got to give him some respect. I mean, he passed away, but...
I mean, we don't. We really don't.
We don't have to. But, I mean, all that stuff, it's like his... Well, obviously, once the trial started, I mean, his career, like everybody just forgot about his career, and then that was pretty much it. Like, nobody remembered his career after that. Nobody cared about it because why? Everybody wanted to know, did he do it? Did he do it?
Yeah.
And there's no, I mean, if they couldn't have figured it out back then, nobody's ever going to know. And I was like I told y'all, there was a tweet that went out that was supposedly from him. And he said, "I did that shit." And then they tried to play it off. They're like, "Oh yeah, but it was taken down by family." Like, shut up. You don't know. It was just a fucking spoof. But
I mean,
I don't know, man.
If we're asking, right, do we think he did? I mean, honestly, most of the evidence pointed to him.
Did it? Did it really?
Yeah.
What about the glove? The glove didn't fit.
Okay.
Must have quit.
So the glove story, from what I heard, is he had he was diagnosed with something, right? Yeah. And he was supposed to be taking pain meds and anti-inflammatory meds, and he didn't take them. They told him, don't take them, so that way when he tried to put on his gloves, his hands were swollen.
See, I didn't know all that.
Yeah,
you would know that.
Yeah,
you would know that.
That was one of the stories. I mean, we've heard so many conspiracy theories regarding this.
I'm sure.
One of the last ones that I remember hearing was that it wasn't him, but he was aware of it, but that it was his son. Yeah, and so the one that's out there running when he's pulling up and he's running to the Bronco, that it was apparently that one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
but didn't they also say, I guess that whole time that the police were there, didn't they say that his son was acting kind of weird?
Yeah.
While they were trying to investigate the house and all that, and they said his son was trying to hide stuff or something like that.
Yep.
I don't know. That's what I heard.
But then again, like, I mean, he did have a good team, right? Defending him.
The dream team.
And it didn't help that there was a racist cop that was testifying against him. And a cop that had already been accused of tampering with evidence. And
was that Coon?
That dude that
I thought it was,
or was that from the Rodney? Was that from the Rodney?
No,
King?
I think that was the Rodney King one.
Oh, I'm getting my California trials messed up. I'm sorry. It's
it was
Stacy Coon?
Furman.
Oh, Mark Furman.
Yes.
Mark Furman, right?
Yep, Mark Furman.
I don't know. Well, it's like, I mean, anytime anybody passes away, yeah, especially if it's a sports figure, you know. I mean, obviously it's not Kobe level shit, but, you know, he did a lot for football, and, you know, he changed the game like everybody else. Jim Brown changed the game. He changed the game. Everybody changed the game. Kobe changed the game of basketball, you know. So
He was a decent sideline reporter.
He was a good Nordberg.
He was a good Nordberg. Yeah, man. Naked gun.
Who can forget the Naked Gun 33.5, right?
Yeah.
He came out in
Well, he came out in
All of
all of them, right? Yeah, all of them.
And
Yeah.
if he's anything like him, the first one, he has 9 lives.
I just like that part when he's all, oh, look, he's got a picture of your wife. Oh, you son of a bitch. He reached it to it. Anyway, rest in peace. I mean, you know, what else can you say? Like, you know, it's, you know.
Well, like Cranky said, man, it's coming up on 30 years from.
I can't believe that.
From the murders.
From the, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then from the famous
So-
Bronco chase
But it was a year after
that he got acquitted.
when they went to trial.
Yeah.
So it was at least a year.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we were kind of talking about like, okay, well, like I brought it up because I know where I was at, you know, when it happened, and I was like, I didn't know what to think. I mean, back then, maybe I guess I didn't really care, but you know, there were a lot of people that were happy, as you can imagine, but. You know, it was a big thing. It was a big thing back then, you know, because that's what everybody. It was like the Menendez brothers, you know. Everybody was trying to pay attention to like what the fuck was going on with that. But
Well, and this was one of the first cases that was actually like a televised thing. So it kind of set the standard for like big cases and having media coverage and media there.
Yeah, because that's. I'm guessing that was probably around the time that Court TV kind of started.
Right around,
and
yeah.
They kind of started broadcasting.
So the murders happened in June. The trial of 94.
94.
And then the trial began in January of 95.
Damn.
And then he was acquitted in October.
So the trial lasted that long?
That's what it says.
That's what the big head.
That's what Google says on my 7,134th search. Yeah, so.
Oh well, man. Like I said, you still got to kind of give him his.
The trial it spanned 11 months from actually November, because that's when they started doing the arraignment and all that. The trial began in January, and then it was October 3rd of 95 that he was acquitted.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, Mr. Juice, I don't know what to say. I hope you're, I guess, resting in peace.
Say hello to Saddam. I don't.
All the bad ones. And Osama too.
And Osama.
Yeah. Say hello to him.
Over there in Kazakhstan.
Speaking of bad things, let's talk about the bad thing that happened here on Monday, which was supposed to be a big deal.
Well, there was a few bad things that happened on Monday, and we're gonna get to that. So
okay,
that'll
we
be
got
my quick shot. But we'll.
So we were, or some of us in San Antonio were in the path of totality of the eclipse, right?
If you want to call it
and
that.
And some of us, took the day off of work so they could pull their kids out of school so they could go check it out, And the cool thing about it is I found this map. I think it was KSAT or somebody posted a map that would show you like the areas where the shadow was going to be longest, unless you were directly like up in Kerrville or whatever, like directly in the path where it was going to be 4 minutes, for sure. Down as you came further south, the time went down. So we went over here to Westover Hills, which is right here by SeaWorld, and the time was supposed to be about 2.5 minutes, somewhere around there. So it's like, we found a parking lot, we parked, and I'm like, it's fucking cloudy. It's fucking cloudy. We just kept driving. It's fucking cloudy. It's fucking cloudy. You pulled into the thing. It's still cloudy. And then it got to that time and got dark, like Cranky said. So it did what it was supposed to do. But, I mean, did y'all see it? I mean, y'all don't care, but... I mean, did y'all see it?
Well, Cranky's message to us was it was a waste of glasses. So
and I said, well, I got mine for free, so yeah.
Yeah, me too. So I was at home. I was just working, and she says, "Hey, one of your clients, invited us to go to the eclipse watch party. So do you want to go?" And I'm like, I mean, it's all the way over there in Chavano Park in 1604, right? So I was like, they have a rooftop, and I said, you know what, whatever, let's just go. So we got there around 12:30, and which was pretty cool because we got there and they had food. I was like, great. So we all ate, and then they gave everybody glasses, and then you go out there like there's drinks, and they had blue moons.
Oh.
They had moon mimosas, and then they had the snacks. They had sun chips. They had the eclipse gum. They had moon pies.
And then somebody pulled their pants down and showed their ass for a full moon.
So we sat there and had a few, and we're on the rooftop. And then when it was getting closer, everybody put their glasses on and couldn't see nothing. So, but every once in a while, like it would peek out, and you would be able to see a little bit the partial. And I was like, honestly, man, I just stayed there, just knocking them back, and it was cool. I mean. When it got dark, we took pictures and did the whole thing. You saw the street lights come on.
Well, and that was kind of funny because we were waiting in that parking lot, and they're solar effective or whatever, so when the light goes down, the lights automatically come on. So we're like, wow, it's getting darker. This is pretty cool. And then the damn lights in the parking lot turned on. We're like, aw. Like, what the fuck? Now we take pictures and it looks like it's all bright.
Yes.
And so we didn't even get the real effect of it.
Yeah, they had the lights on the rooftop. We were like, and somebody decided turn it off.
Turn them off.
Well, we got to see the actual eclipse though.
When it got to that point
on TV.
Well,
they had a big screen outside too, so everybody's taking pictures of the TV.
I was there, man. I was there. Yeah, we got home and then we saw it on YouTube. Some news station in Austin that was reporting it. They're like, "Oh, there it is," and they're all cheering. I'm like, "You suck."
My sister and brother-in-law, man, they had a pretty good view of it. It wasn't as cloudy over there So they actually
they were able to, like, it was a total, or
yeah, they got to see the whole thing. Yep.
wow,
So
lucky. You guys are lucky.
yeah.
Rangers suck. Anyway,
Hell yeah.
but the other funny thing was, like, I swear, I'm not even kidding. It was about, it's after a while, people started showing up, because and it was just a parking lot, so everybody was parking and trying to see what was going on. But I swear to God, about 4 or 5 cars that have went in, they were all playing Total Eclipse of the Heart from what is her face? Shit, I can't remember her name.
What is her name?
Bonnie Raitt? No, I don't know. I forget. But anyway, they were playing the song, and I'm like, really? I'm like, okay. Like, I'm not gonna go that far because I meant it to be like more of an educational thing. Bonnie Tyler. I got the Bonnie right.
Yeah.
But I meant it to be like I pulled the kids out of school, and I'm like, look, you're not gonna see this until like 45 or 44 or whatever. I said, it's not gonna happen again until then. I said, let's go check it out. And of course the older one was reluctant. Like, shut up, let's go get in the car. And then it was all cloudy, and he's like, well, Dad, I don't see nothing. I'm like, yeah, I know. Can't. There's no, sorry, it was cloudy. We need to hear Louie's story then. What else bad happened? We're going for your quick shot.
Well, we'll do the quick shot now.
Yeah.
Okay, my quick shot, man, is damn these effing kids.
No, that's like every episode.
that are breaking into vehicles.
Oh, okay.
So I had my truck broken into.
No way, son of.
And my son did too.
What?
Yeah, we were at a pool game, and we had finished, and she was like, "Hey man, I'm ready to go," but my cousins were not shown up, and they were like, "Hey, let's hang out for a little bit," and she was like, "Well, I don't want to take you away from your cousins. I'm gonna go home.
Yeah,
I'll see you in a bit." It wasn't 20 minutes. When she got home, she told me she was home. Maybe 20, 25 minutes. I messaged her. They hit my truck, man. They got my truck. She's like, what? And so I'm inside, and all of a sudden, some guy walks in, and he's like, who has a white Dodge? And I just see my son running. I'm like, well, that's not your truck, fool. That's mine, right? So I run out there, and my back passenger window was busted out.
Oh.
And I was like, damn. And then all of a sudden, 2 vehicles away, I hear, fuck! And I turn around, and his got hit too, man. So yeah, both of us, the same window. It was crazy.
They get anything?
And yeah, well, they took his firearm from his.
Shit.
And in mine, I had my keys to my other vehicle and the house keys, and they took those. And then they just kind of ransacked the well, they actually were spooked when they were in my vehicle, because some guy walked out and saw them, and then said, hey, what are y'all doing? And they jumped in a wider silver vehicle and took off.
Yeah.
Then we hear, of course, that it had already happened maybe a couple of weeks ago there at the same place. So I'm like, damn, like this sucks, right? This was on Monday, dude. Yesterday, we had to be back at the same place for another playoff game.
Yeah.
And dude, so I kept walking out every 10 minutes, right? Just kind of checking. Walking out, looking, and go back in, man. 10 minutes later, all you hear is, who has a Silverado? Another vehicle that was next to mine.
No shit.
So the guy walks out, and he hears, ksh. So they're using one of those tap glasses.
Oh, yeah.
And they made a hole, and so the girl had tinted windows. And so there was a hole in the window, but the hole, it was shattered, but the window was still there because of the tint. Well, he heard it, and he says, what are y'all doing? They jumped in a freaking silver Escape, and they took off. And I'm like, dude, like, it's freaking annoying, man.
Truckers,
like when you hear it, you hear about it, and you hear about it daily, man, on the news, and you see it on the Nextdoor app or whatever. And it sucks, and you think about it, dude, this sucks. I hope they get caught, right? But then when it happens to you, you're like, son of a bitch. And yesterday, man, I was hoping that I would have seen these. I was hoping.
You're gonna you're gonna pull an OJ on them.
I had a surprise, man. I had a surprise for them, a hidden surprise. But yeah, dude. So
what? No, go ahead.
Where was this at? So we don't go.
Is this one
Just
of
think about my birthday.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, well, there was some other stuff that happened there too. And I just so happened to be there the year before.
Pew pew. Yeah, so it was pretty. And and it's crazy because yesterday in the morning, I don't know if y'all saw, they raided a house on the south side for some people that they know that were suspected of car burglaries and car thefts.
Oh yeah.
And so they raided the house and they found a bunch of firearms. They found a bunch of drugs. They found stolen cars. They found a whole bunch of things. And so these people tried to run when they were doing the raid, but they had a helicopter. They were able to catch them. And one of the kids is 18 years old, right? And sure enough, man, the guys that they're talking, they're like, dude, the people that are doing it, they're kids, because I saw them. They're kids.
Yeah.
They're literally, teenagers and just causing havoc, man.
So I saw on Facebook the SAPD arrested some dude.
Yeah,
and he was
18-year-old.
only 18.
That one, yeah.
So okay, so he was part of that. Mm-hmm. It sucks because exactly how Louie said, right? Like, oh, you see it happen to other people, and you're like, oh man, fuck, that sucks. And then it happens to you, and dude, I felt violated. Like, yeah. We went at the mall way years back, dude. This was a long time ago. We were at the mall, and somebody smashed my car and stole my radio, and I'm like, is my door? What the hell's wrong with my door? Well, they popped it. It was a F-150. So the F-150 doors had the little, had the key thing, obviously, and they just pushed it in, just popped it, boop, and then the door opens.
Yep.
So, and then they didn't even break the window. They didn't do anything. They just went through the door, and then they stole my stereo. I'm like, I just bought that fucking stereo, man. That's what sucks the most is like, you pay for that shit from your money, and all it takes is 10 seconds for some dipshit to come and take it from you. That's what sucks the most, dude.
And we were talking about it, and we're talking to my son and yesterday, because me and him had to go get our windows fixed, right? So while we're doing that, we dropped off our vehicles and went to go grab something to eat, and he's like, man, Sabrina tells him like, hey, just be glad that they didn't take your vehicle, right? Because there's been a lot of car thefts too. And he's like, yeah. He goes, man, I think I'm gonna get one of those things that go on the steering wheel to hold it so they don't take it. And I'm like, are you talking about the club? He's like, yeah, right, like the thing that goes on the thing. And I'm like, let me tell you a story.
Yeah, story time.
So story time. So one day, man, I know we had been out. I can't remember where. I just remember I'm getting home at 4, and this is when I was working at the old Builder Square, right? And I remember getting home at 4, and I had to be at work at 6:30.
You just aged yourself. But
Yeah,
anyway,
I know,
continue.
dude. So I get home at 4, and I remember where I parked at. It was at the apartments, remember? So I remember where I parked at, and I remember going in and taking a quick 1.5-hour nap, 2-hour nap, whatever. I wake up, I'm like, oh shoot, I'm gonna be late. Get ready real quick. I walk out. So when you walk out, in between the two buildings of the apartment, you had carports on both sides, right and left. And I remember parking to the right. So I remember walking out, and I look, and I'm like, car's not there. So I said, all right. So I go to the left. Huh? It's not there either. I'm like, hold on, man. Let me retract my step, right? So I go inside, and my mom's in there, and I'm like, Mom, hey, you remember where I parked my car? She's like, yeah, right there to the right. So I walk over there. I look, and my club is sitting right in the parking spot where my freaking car used to be at. So all they did was cut the steering wheel and slip it off.
They teased your ass.
Yeah, so they're like, well, here's your club that you spent so much money to protect your car with.
Yeah.
So I told them, yeah, bro. I said, it might deter them, but it's not going to stop them.
Yeah.
It's not going to stop them.
They're just opportunists. They're not very smart. They're just opportunists.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Cranky never had any...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've had
your fair share.
they broke in and stole my radio once, and there was one of those at the time when we had those detachable faces.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
So you were supposed to take off the face of the radio so that way they would look inside.
Yeah.
There's no radio there.
Yeah.
So what are we gonna steal? Well, I didn't take off the face.
Of course.
So they took the radio.
Well,
Right.
that's the same thing that happened to me. I take the face off and I went into the mall, but I didn't take it off. I left.
So
You see guys walking around with the little plastic thing.
that happened twice to me. All right, that happened twice to me. The first time, I took off the face, and I put it under the seat. And so they got in, took the radio, and took the face from under the seat, right? So then after that, I realized, okay, don't leave the damn face in there anymore, right? So I get another one, detachable face, and I remember taking it off and taking it with me. I come back, and the radio's gone, and I have the face, and I'm like, well, I can't attach it to anything, so I can't even listen. Yeah, bro. It's...
Could they? So what are they taking it for? They're not going to be able to sell it. You know?
Well,
just to freaking cause...
It's the lengths that people in certain situations have to go through, I guess. You know,
is there cameras over there in that area? The parking spot?
There is. So this one guy said his got hit a few weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago. And he said the cameras weren't working, but now they're working. So I'm waiting to see the footage. Waiting for the owner to get there so I can ask him for the footage. But yeah. Yep.
It happened Monday. Waiting for the owner to get there. What? He's not there yet?
Well, he wasn't there.
It's already almost Friday.
He wasn't there Monday.
It's not his car. Fuck it. You know?
He wasn't there Monday. I didn't reach out to him Tuesday. I reached out to him yesterday, and he was supposed to go and get it for me, but he was gonna go today or something. I don't know. I'm like, honestly, what are they gonna do, dude?
What is that? Yeah. It's that they're just opportunists because they just get lucky, you know. I mean, because somebody could catch him, but I'm like this guy stealing those catalytic converters underneath. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit. They'll do it in broad daylight. There was somebody in the parking lot from where I work. They caught some dude trying to steal it. He didn't give a shit. He just, got out of the thing, took the converter, got in the car, and took off. Like, he didn't give a fuck.
Well, it's like
what are they gonna do to him?
It's like the one that they tried to carjack at that Walmart over there on Blanco and Wurzbach Parkway. The 65-year-old man was getting to his car, and this guy comes up to him and wants his car, and the guy's like, no, and he shoots him, kills him, and doesn't even take the car, right? They caught this kid a couple of days ago, 13 years old. 13 years old, man.
So then what did he take?
Nothing.
Besides that guy's life.
That's it. That's exactly what he took.
And now his life is all fucked.
Yep.
Like, now what?
Well, and then this dude's bragging about it. Well, you didn't think they were going to catch you?
I just saw that there's some dude was going on to these dating websites and getting these women. I don't know how the dude looked. That I know they probably showed his face, but I didn't see it. But apparently he was going online to whatever dating site it was and going out with these women, and then he'd beat the shit out of them.
What the?
Like, I don't get it. Like, what kind of joy comes out of that? Like, I don't, did they turn him down and then he got pissed off and then he beat the shit out of him? I'm like, not everybody's gonna sleep with you on the first day, man. For real, though. There's so much shit going on, man.
Yeah, man. It is crazy. It is crazy.
So now, they took your son's gun.
Yeah.
Now, does he have to?
We reported it. The officer showed up, and they
like what? How does that work? Because now
he's got to supply the serial number.
Okay.
Because it was registered, so he's got to supply the serial number to the police, and then that way, if there's ever any crimes, or if they find it, like in a raid or something, they'll know whose it is. So,
but he doesn't get it back.
He can.
Because it's like evidence now.
Yeah, he can. If it's not used in the crime, he can. But I mean, dude, what's the chances of that, bro?
Well, the reason I say they're opportunists, I mean, I'm not talking separately about like actually killing somebody, but somebody who just has the opportunity because it happened way back when in Vegas, and we got there, and my ex-wife, her dad had given her some money. He gave her like $1,000. He said, "Hey, can you hold on to this for me?" She's like, "Yeah." She put it in her bag. We sat down to eat. She take the bag off. She puts it on the back of her chair. We're eating, and like, "Oh, let's go. Let's take off." Well, she forgets her bag on the back of the chair. Not even a minute, maybe 30 seconds, 45 seconds. She realizes she forgets it. We go back. It's gone. It's gone. With $1,000 and probably about $300 or $400 of our money. So $1,400 gone like that, just gone. So, you try and it's like, you should already know what are they going to do.
Yeah.
Like, what are they going to find,
Yeah.
So you go in and we try and plead our case because we're pissed off, we're telling anybody that would listen, police, or even the pit boss, and one of those things. And they're like, you know what? That's why I heard that. They're like, they're not smart. They're just opportunists. They just, an opportunity came up. They took it. Nobody saw them. There you go. $1,400.
Yeah. But then you have stupid people like me, where you would put the face underneath the seat, right? So I remember there was another friend of mine, man, his ex-wife. She went out with some friends.
Why do you say out with quotes?
Because now I know what she was doing. But the story at the time was she was going out with friends, quote unquote.
He did the air quotes. I was like, wait a minute.
So she goes out to basically, I guess, a club or somewhere or bar. I don't know what she was at.
Joe's Volcano.
Probably. Parks the car and doesn't want to, how there's some women that don't want to carry a purse or a hand wallet. So she didn't know where to put her keys. She didn't have pockets. So she puts the keys under the seat, locks the door because that vehicle had where you could put the code in.
Okay.
Well, all they did was pop the freaking window, take the keys, and take the car. Like.
But how do they know, though? Like, how do they, I mean.
Well, I'm pretty sure they broke.
Is that every person that breaks into a car, that's the first place they look? Is under the seat? Or like in the movies, how they have the sun visor, like,
they would check somebody.
The glove compartment.
They're like,
there's always so many places you can hide the keys, and some hiding places in the car.
Well, and not only that, you think about it, they probably weren't looking for keys, but they found them.
Yeah.
Well, they got a new vehicle.
They're like licensed to drive.
Yep.
A Maserati. And now they got a free car, dude. I've never had a car stolen. I accidentally parked my car in the wrong spot and had it towed.
Oh, I've had that. Many times.
What was that one time that we were at there off of Evers, and we parked across the street?
No, it was Sugars. Can we say that?
Why not?
Was it Sugars?
Oh, I don't remember.
You don't want to remember.
You know what? There was one time when I remember parking over there where the bars were at on Evers and Babcock.
Oh, like the drink.
And then yeah. So you know how the Valero was right there, okay, across the street on this side, parked in the parking lot there, and I remember coming out and my car's gone. And I'm like, damn.
Mine was at Sugars once, or you can't say that, but I don't know.
You can't say what?
You can't say there was only once? Oh.
No, you can't say. I thought we couldn't say Sugars.
Oh, no.
Why not?
Okay.
We can.
Titty bar. Just say titty bar.
Titty, yeah.
It was at the titty bar.
But
all right, if you don't want to say the
but
name.
it wasn't even. So you couldn't park in the parking lot next door.
Yeah, where the AT&T's at now.
AT&T,
Right?
yeah. AT&T was. It's not there anymore.
Oh, yeah.
You couldn't park there. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fucking 1:00 in the morning. Who's gonna fucking go to AT&T at 1:00 in the morning?
That one person that's waiting for the store to open. 1:30 in the
jeez, man.
Well, remember we used to go to, I don't know, we used to go, but I, remember like Club Hollywood and like Sharkies, all that. Like,
that's the same freaking building.
Yeah, exactly. I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, there was more people there, for Sharkies or Hollywood.
It was a club.
Yeah, and it was a club. Yeah. So, like, how many people's cars got fucking yanked out of there because of that? Yeah, shit, it was so packed. Like, you had to find somewhere to park out in the back in the street somewhere. Yeah. It was like parking at Oyster Bake and then coming back and your fucking car's gone. Why? Because somebody called the tow truck and they told them to come fucking pull it because they blocked the driveway like a dumbass.
Now that you say that, because Oyster Bake's coming up already around the corner. Fiesta's next week.
Next week already.
With all these, it's like practice for them. All these breaking in, and they're just warming up for the fucking
initiations.
They're warming up for the big haul.
They're gonna go out there and
like gone in 60 seconds. Or something. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I was, Oyster Bake Fiesta's coming up.
Yeah.
And actually, if y'all didn't know, April 23rd is our 1 year anniversary.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Frankie, who loves dates, like he knows, like you automatically assume that, oh yeah, it's 3 months.
Cranking it, yeah, it's 2 months. It's been, yep.
No, I went back and I looked because I was wondering because I know Louie had brought up the he had went to Fiesta.
Yes.
Remember? And we're like, "Where's Louie?" We had that episode.
Oh,
Episode 2. Episode 2. That's right.
So we had that episode.
That's right. That was supposed to be here. I'll be there in a little bit. I'm running late. Never mind. I'm not going.
I'm gathering intel. Shut the fuck. You weren't gathering. You were gathering beers. That's what you were doing. Right? He said that. I'm gathering intel. Shut the hell up.
I don't know how to listen to that again.
That's so far away as a year ago, dude. The cool thing is, like, even considering the short breaks that we had, you know, in between that, dude, we're coming up on 1,700 plays.
Yeah.
For 30. Well,
this
is
would be
32.
32.
This would be 32. So, dude, that's not bad.
Yeah.
And it's the cool thing about it is that it's creeping up. So the average listen is about 27. No, 28. So it's creeping up to about 30, which is good.
Now that's listen or followers?
No, listens.
Listens, okay.
Now followers. So what Spotify considers followers are the ones that go to our spot on Spotify and hit the notification.
The notification, yeah.
So when they hit that notification, they consider that a like. So we're at 51.
Okay.
I don't know where we have 51 people, but we have 51 people. So
that means that means there's about 21 that liked it but haven't listened.
Yeah, because I hear it all the time. Like John. Like John's always telling me, he's like, he'll text me and he's like, "Hey, y'all have a new episode? Yeah, it's coming out soon." He's like, "I'm catching up, man. I'm catching up." He's like, he was at I think he said he was at Fuck Them Kids. He was like, "I'm at Fuck Them Kids." I'm like, "Oh yeah, you're catching up." So we get those, you know, those people.
He was like at a place called. Where is that?
He forgot that was the episode.
Yeah.
Cranky, come on, man.
So now there's a place that first there's a drink called
Fuck Them Kids. There's a drink called Fuck Them
You haven't
Kids.
seen it? I saw it on TikTok. Yeah.
No way. What is it?
Where was it at though?
They were like at Buffs.
But it wasn't even here, right? It was like somewhere like in Florida or Miami or somewhere. I don't remember.
I want to say it was in Texas.
Was it? Man, I gotta go. I gotta find that. But yeah, there's a drink.
Kids.
Yeah, so they go, they show up and they say, "What do you want?" And they tell them FTK.
FTK.
And so then
Was I already?
they're like, "Are you sure?" They're like, "Yes."
So what do you mean? Are you sure? What does it have?
I don't know. They never say what's
They
in
never
the
say
drink.
what's in it.
But it's probably just like they probably edit it out. Say FTK, but then after they edit, Diet Coke. You know.
Well, it's weird you say that because this girl was getting accused. I don't know who the girl is. She apparently is one of these people that buys food and then eats it. I guess this is her TikTok. Wow. Yeah, how's that? Striking. Yeah. So apparently this is what she does: is she buys food, she videotapes herself eating it, and I guess I don't know if she does a review. I don't know what the fuck. But the thing was, she eats it all. So she buys a whole pizza, and supposedly she eats it all. Well, she's getting criticism now because people are noticing that the edits are not right. So it's kind of like if she's taking a couple of bites of one and then tossing it, and then she'll take a bite of another one and then she'll toss it so that it doesn't match up, for whatever. But I'm like, this is what people find interesting on TikTok, dude. You know what? I'll be honest. Because I know I've been putting out a lot of TikToks. Yeah. But because if I try and be funny, I know maybe they're not funny, but I just try and do stupid shit, right? And I just want to post it. That's all I've been doing. Like I haven't really been watching too many. I don't know about y'all, but I haven't been watching too many videos.
I have.
I get a freaking ad like every one.
Do you get an ad?
An ad, everyone you get like an ad, dude.
Oh, well, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, but like, you just
swipe up.
It still comes out like after another one.
God damn it! No, I don't need pimple cream.
Like, I hope you didn't buy this. I see that ad all the time. I hope you didn't buy this.
I don't
it's
need
on sale right now.
I don't need Vagicream. Cream.
Blue Chew.
Oh yeah.
All right, let me click on that one real quick.
Let me see if they got a code.
How much for just
this one free?
Free sample.
Your first delivery is free. Yeah, and that has been blowing up too. Because you're right. Because every time I log in, the first thing and it's the first thing that pops up is an ad. Yeah. And it's mine for a while was fucking TurboTax. I'm like, I already did my taxes, man. Leave me alone. But then now, every time that I do go in there, it's like, boop, Blue Chew, boop, Blue Chew. Blue. And if you don't know what Blue Chew is, then you don't have a erectile dysfunction.
It's not a Smurf blowjob.
Smurfette didn't come by and do her business there, but anyway, yeah, Blue Chew. But you're right. You're right. There are ads that pop up, and you just the cool thing about it is you just flip up. Obviously that bothers Cranky to no end. Well, I was talking about TikTok. It's something that came up, and I don't know how it affects you guys. It affects me a lot. But these
dancing at the
well, yeah, it's up there.
the dancing at the pulga,
the Chutaro pulga dancers over there, fucking coming up. Anyway, it's these young guys or these young people that they want to act like they just discovered something that nobody else had ever discovered. Like my thing was like
Fire.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like going back that far.
Oh, I remember.
But it was like, okay, so Pearl Jam has a song called Black. This album came out in 1991, people. This is already 40 years old, right?
Over
40 years old now.
No, 33 years old.
33. Yeah. I don't know where I got 40 from. That public school education. But anyway.
2 + 2, Jello.
But I've seen some TikToks to where like those ones, like I always say, like it's that person that's on the bottom of the screen and they're just pointing up like, oh, listen to this, like look at that.
Yeah.
So the song has a line that says, I know someday you have a beautiful life, I know you'll be a star in somebody else's sky, why can't it be mine? That's a classic line from that song, and everybody knows that. Our generation, that's like, it affects people a lot of ways. But what I hate is how these people discover that and they want to act like, oh, look what I found. Look what I can do. Look what I can do. Look. So and I've seen video after video because
it's like if they're exposing something.
Exactly. Like they discovered something like, oh, this is so cool. I'm the first one to find it. No, motherfucker, you're not. You don't like that. And the reason it affected me is because that song to me, like, I would listen to that whole cassette backwards and forwards when I was going to bed. So I know that album back and front. You can tell me one line and I'll know what song it was from. So when somebody does that, like, it affects me because y'all don't know that fucking shit. Y'all weren't affected by that shit. You just came across this song and now you're like, oh, look at me.
But what are they exposing?
They're thinking that it's like, okay, because the line is kind of heavy.
Yeah.
If you break the line down, it's I hope someday you have if he's in love with someone and they're not in love with him.
Yeah.
But he's accepting it and he's saying, I hope someday you have a beautiful life. I hope you'll be a star in somebody else's sky, but why can't it be mine?
Yeah.
Which is kind of heavy, right? You think it's like, fuck, that to me that hits me. But to them it's like, oh, this is just so great. Like look what I found. It's listen to me. They're just looking for that attention, and that's what it bothers me. Because like you don't know, you're not hit the same way that other people are hit by. You're just trying to get likes.
They're just being Matt Barnes.
That's all you're trying to do. You're just trying to be. What did we say last week? You're just trying to be
relevant.
And I don't like it, man. Yeah. I don't like it.
Yep.
And the other thing was the songs was there other songs, right? Like speeding them up and slowing them down and changing them. And so they're not the original song anymore because now they're sped up and they have like real,
Well, and like I was telling you, I saw some where they were getting like country songs and they were making them into like a techno version.
Yeah.
Or they're getting rock songs and playing them like in country form, and I'm like, why? Cool, I guess, if it sounds cool, but
I don't know. It affects me in that one line just basically because of that. So speaking of country, our old friend Morgan Wallen, who decides he wants to throw a chair off a 6-story building and almost hit
a new bar.
Yeah, and almost hit 2 officers.
That's the only reason he was arrested. is because it almost hit the officers.
You think so?
I think that he would have been probably,
a slap on the hand. They wouldn't even have done anything.
Yeah, it would have been like, hey, get him out of here, send him home, call him an Uber, something, right? But because he almost hit the 2 officers, I'm pretty sure is why he was arrested.
Oh, are they saying that he could face like I don't know how many years in prison for that? Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, if they want to charge him with, made up charges like they do, so
ain't nothing gonna happen to that dude, man.
And all because his chick left him.
Right? Is that what it was?
That's what it was.
Found out that somebody eloped or some shit like
he
that.
He was taking back some of Grandpa's old cough medicine.
A little too much.
Well, I mean, and I've heard that he's been pretty sloppy drunk as of late. So I'm pretty sure that's been going on. And
so you're saying his sex has been horrible?
Blue Chew.
What?
We're gonna need a
whiskey dick. Yeah. He had whiskey dick.
We're gonna reach out to them and get a sponsorship.
Yeah. Well, but all the like, there's no guys sponsoring Blue Chew. They're all chicks, right? They're all OnlyFans girls or some because it says it on there. It says content creator, OnlyFans, blah blah blah. If you look at not that I paid attention. But if you look at the ad, it'll, obviously it's a girl, but then on the bottom it'll say her name and then it'll say, OnlyFans creator or something like that. And that's who they're getting.
If you would actually read the words and not look at the...
Pay attention to what's behind the screen, ladies and gentlemen.
We're like, what was the color of the wall?
Nipple? I think that's what it was. Yeah, man. What else? What else we got?
What else were we talking about?
Well, I was going to say something about the pledge, but you know what? I think I'll save that, man, because I need to do some research on that, because that was one of that probably could have been a quick shot, because it was one of those that when I heard this dude talking about it, I'm like, oh, like that got me. And then after a while, I was like, that's all right. We ain't going to talk about it. But that's all I had. I don't know what else y'all had.
I thought we were going to do momisms and dadisms.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you want to start over?
From the very beginning.
Oh, look, the red light's not on. Start all over. Well, you can do that, dude. But I was thinking, I know, but y'all, I'm sure. My dad and mom, I don't know. I can't really one that kind of stands out that they would say to me. I don't know what you guys feel about it, but I was trying to think of some, and I know
I was too. I was trying to think of a few, man. And I don't even know. I don't know if they were like isms or if they were just
funny shit that they would say.
Yeah.
What is the definition of it? I guess. What is that? What is that? Is
well, the way I was saying it is like, how in movies how they try and come here, son, let me have a talk with you, and then they give them the old cliche speech. You know what I'm talking about? Like when they talk about cliches, it's like,
this is your brain. This is your brain.
Shit like that. Yeah. Just kind of giving them little pointers and shit like that. Like, son, like that Sylvester Stallone quote from Rocky.
Yes.
About, life's gonna hit hard and you gotta hit back. But like shit like that. Like that would be considered.
Times you fall.
It's you how you get up or some shit. Yeah. See, that would be to me that would be a dadism. Like.
So it's an excessive popular adoration and over sentimentalizing whatever.
Public school education.
I don't want to pronounce it. I don't want to have to pronounce it. It sounded out.
One of
those supercalifragilistic. Yeah. But that mothers or fathers that they held, you held up high, like you would hear them and you would be like, oh, okay, I remember they used to say this, right? Huh. So I was kind of thinking of a few, and even Sabrina helped me out, right? She was, well, I remember where they would tell you, and again, I don't know if it was an ism or not, but just things that they would say, and it was like, stop crying or I'm gonna give you something to cry about.
Oh yeah, we used to say that,
right?
Nah, yeah, that counts.
You hear that, right? Or whenever they would start off something by saying, well, back in my day, I used to walk to school uphill both ways
in
the snow barefoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a bear chasing after me, and scorpions.
Or you hear one where you would hear, like, especially you would hear it in the Hispanic homes, cálmate o te calmo.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Right?
I've seen that on shirts.
Basically, like, chill out or I'm gonna chill you out. So
The one that stood out to me that I remembered was my mom always used to say it, and this was before I even heard it on La Bamba. It was no tenga vergüenzas. Like, you ain't got no shame. Like,
no tienes vergüenza.
Yeah, and my mom used to tell us that all the time, man. Like, when we wouldn't turn homework in, or if we did, like, didn't come home when we were supposed to.
I remember somebody's mom telling us that quite a few times.
When I was out, with the bad influence.
Yeah.
I'd come home and, it was like,
¿Tienes vergüenza?
no tienes vergüenzas?
Yep.
I know my dad would say it every once in a while, but my mom was the one that always say it. So that to me is always one that's, then you heard it on the Bamba.
Yeah.
Because she tells him that when they go to Mexico, they come back, he's got the tattoo, and he's like, if I'm Paris, sin vergüenzas. So that was the first time I ever heard it on a movie, or the only time, actually. But yeah, my mom used to say that all the time.
Well, Cranky had a good one. Was it last episode or 2 episodes ago? Where he was saying where they would, your parents would tell you if they're bullying you or they're picking on you, then don't talk to them. They're not your friends.
Yeah.
Like, those are just little bits of advice that your parents would give you.
Yep.
Or basically to get you out of their hair because they got tired of hearing you complain about what was going on. So yeah. I don't know, man. I don't.
I
I mean, you could come up with so many, but
I tried to think of some, and I really couldn't.
I mean, do we have any that have crossed over? Like, because you can't talk to these kids the same way that we used to get talked to.
The no sabo kids?
Yep.
Yeah.
You can't talk to these kids the same way, man. It's they get offended very quick.
Yeah, and then they call 911, and then
I used to. Oh, that's one. I'm gonna call 911. Okay. Well, they're gonna take you out, right? I'm gonna get a break.
I think that's.
They're gonna take you to a shelter. So go ahead and call them.
I think that's one that Roxanne's used before on the older kids. You can't do that to me. It's like, oh, call the police. Go ahead, call them. They're gonna take you away, not me.
Like, I'm going to Puerto Rico.
Oh, too
man.
soon.
Too soon.
Is it too soon? Yeah, it's too soon.
It's a year.
That's mean.
What else went on? Didn't we have something else go on this week?
Well, we had the eclipse. OJ's died. I haven't heard anything else in the news.
Fiesta's coming.
Well, Fiesta's coming. You got any Fiesta stories you're willing to share?
I haven't been to Fiesta in freaking forever, man.
When you were the problem.
Yes, when I was the
bad influence.
You were the bad influence.
That's the last time I went to.
Did we ever go to Fiesta?
Dude, we went all every year.
Did we? Yes. With Santaline? I think he might have went a couple times.
A couple times with him.
Yeah. Santaline, man. I wonder if he listens. I should get him to listen. Do you remember all these stories? Did we ever tell the story about the Fat Tuesday? We did, right?
Thought you were going somewhere else with that one.
Yeah.
Oh, about the fat. Well, there was a lot of those after a while, but no, I think we did tell that story about when the time changed, and somebody got caught driving by the police, and
yes.
they let us go. Wasn't me. It was you.
It was exactly
because you were you were the bad influence. But no, I think we told that story already. No, I don't know what other stories we have, man. But I won't say who it was, but I mean, it was nobody here. But
because I would have said it.
Yeah, I would say I would embarrass you. No. One of the times that I went was, it was just a bunch of group of guys, right? So at that time, the carnival was still in the old spot by the jail, where the jail was before it, before they even moved that. You know, they were selling pitchers. They were actually letting you buy pitchers of beer at one time. One person, a whole pitcher of beer, you know. So we would go and everybody would buy one, you know. So what would happen is when it would get to the very bottom, the rule was that you had to chug it, right? If you got to a certain spot, you had to chug it. And then once you chugged it, you had to toss the rest of it on your head. So like pendejos, we're over here getting all fucked up and we drink it and then we throw the rest of it on our heads like dummies.
Well, how would we chugged it? It was empty.
I know, but whatever,
Like
was left over, whatever, like the backwash, yeah. So we got so messed up that one of the guys we were buying beer, and he actually took a piss right there at the place where we were buying beer because they had the little thing down there on the bottom. He just fucking whipped it out. He started peeing. What the fuck are you doing? I'm peeing. Oh shit, dude. Bad influence, man. Hey, but I didn't. It wasn't me. I didn't do it.
It's not like they did it at Buffalo Wild Wings.
I didn't do it. Everybody could see. It wasn't me. I would never do that.
I don't think we had any of those episodes. The peeing usually happened when we got back home. It wasn't always in the restroom, but it could have been in the corner of the wall, outside on the patio, maybe just anywhere, you know, wherever it's needed.
And I don't know.
You know, it's hard to remember stories about Fiesta.
True.
Because usually we were pretty gone.
Mm-hmm.
So I really don't remember what was happening.
Mm.
I remember being left in the car at Applebee's.
No, that was I think I heard that story from you.
Yeah. We were just like karaoke.
Oh man.
Sweet.
That was Niosa, wasn't it?
No, it was. I think it was just regular Fiesta.
Was it?
I think it was.
Because I remember one time Niosa, we parked at the Federal Building because I was working there. So I had my pass that I was able to get in, and when we parked there, and I just told the Federal Police, "Hey, we're just gonna leave the car here. We're gonna walk over there." Yeah, go ahead, sir. All right, cool. And then walking back with freaking. Didn't I run into one of my cousins or something there too? And
we had so many people there.
Man. Yeah, you know,
everybody there.
The
even people you owe money to.
the thing. I mean, it's still a thing, I guess, but you don't see it as much. But the thing back then was to see how many cups you were able to stack.
Collecting the cups. Well, because it was cheaper back then. Let's be honest, and the cups were normal size. At least at one point, of course, then they started making them smaller.
8-ounce cups.
Yeah, and then that's like a shot.
Yeah, you start taking shots.
And what? How many tickets are they now? For like
shit,
10 or something like that.
For like an 8-ounce cup. Man. Do y'all remember when that one there was a place inside of that was selling the plastic bottles? I just told this story the other day to somebody.
At Niosa?
Yeah, at Niosa.
Wasn't it where the
it was kind of in the middle.
Is?
Yeah, it was kind of in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Where the auditorium or whatever that is.
Close to that. Close to that.
The rest?
No, they're not Guadalajara Grill.
Okay.
No, this was somewhere else. And they were selling plastic bottles of beer. Mm-hmm. And that thing was, the line was going out the door, wrapped around. I mean, everybody was going there and buying their thing because the cups were so fucking small. They were so expensive. So everybody was just going in there and everybody was walking out with like 3 or 4 at a time. And it was fucking, bam, 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 bam. But then after about a year or two, then they ended up not either closing down or not letting them sell it anymore because they were
taking away from
they were taking away their business basically.
Well, I just remember we would collect the cups. That was our
and then you gave them to the homeless people.
No, that was like our prize, right? That was like our trophy. But then we'd forget them in the car, and then the next day you go open the door, it's like, oh man. Yep. Yeah. And then we just tossed the cups anyways. Not like I don't know why we.
Well, some of the cups might have been relegated to the shower, the tub, and use them for the kids, dump in the water. That's what happens now. A lot of times, that like if we get a Spurs cup or something, that's where it ends up in the shower you know,
In the shower tub.
yeah, in the shower tub. But oh boy, good times. What else you got? Find something. Hurry! I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4,
All right, so
2, 1.
got a dad joke that one of the kids gave me.
Oh, from the kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
He says, "Why do people hate stairs?"
Why do people hate stairs? Why?
Because they're always up to something.
Or down.
Or down.
Let's be honest.
Let's be honest.
They're always down.
But I heard this one. So this is the one that I was going to tell you. I'm pretty sure Cranky's already heard it because he's heard every single joke that I ever going to say.
Yeah.
But what's the difference between a priest and Woody from Toy Story?
Oh yeah.
I'm telling you, he knows all of them already.
Oh, yeah. What's the difference between a priest and Woody from Toy Story? He's got Andy on his foot? No? No.
Go ahead, Cranky.
No, you go ahead. Oh, I saw you.
No, thank you.
It says, Woody goes limp when a child walks in the room.
Oh. Why do we insist on attacking the Catholic faiths? Some of our listeners might be Catholic.
Well, like we said about Angel Reese, when you put a bullseye on your back, don't be surprised when people shoot.
They're going to be gunning for you, little buddy. They're going to be gunning for you. Well, let me see. So let me see if I can. Oh, I can't find it. Dang it.
Your
Where is
questions?
it? Yeah.
I keep on going back to your little losing your money over there in Las Vegas, or getting your money stolen in Las Vegas. You were you said it was $1,400,
$1,400.
$1,400, $1,300, and like, I mean, it makes you feel any better. I'm pretty sure they spent it all. They lost it too. You know,
But I think it's.
and then you might have lost it too.
Or I could have pulled the Louie. Maybe I was there, hey.
I'd be like in a Vegas vacation. Why are you just having the money? I kick in the nuts and we just call it a day.
That's what they just did. They just gave him. You're gonna lose it anyways.
No, man. But to lose that much money in Vegas is one thing, to lose it somewhere else. I get you. So
You still lost it in Vegas.
somebody lost it. I lost it, and then they went and
They
probably
lost it
spent
too.
it. They probably went
And then they lost it.
1,400 on red. Loser. Okay.
Hey, free money.
Yes, it was house money.
It was house money.
Yeah, it was
Today was house money. It just happened to be your house, but speaking of Vegas, I'll be in Vegas in a month.
Uh-oh, he's on tour.
Remember, he told us now. So
At the end of the month?
No, the 14th of May.
Oh, okay. So we're going to have to find a replacement for your ass.
So
The
he told us
14th?
now.
I'll be there the 14th,
He's telling us
18th.
Everybody else. Yeah.
Until he's on the plane.
Until like, hey, we're going to record today.
Until you see on Facebook traveling to.
And then I'm going again. I should be going again on the 28th. So
Oh,
twice in a month.
to talk about your contract then, sir, because that's already too many days that you're missing. Either that or we're just jealous that you're actually leaving the city and going to do stuff in Sin City.
Yeah.
Well, since we're talking about gambling and
Yes.
money.
Well, did you see the report today?
Yes, did you see that too?
Yes.
Oh,
That he got
Ohtani?
he federally got charged.
Well, that apparently he stole over $16 million, dude.
Not the
Stole.
4.5.
Not
It was
4.5, 16 million.
15 million.
From
Yes.
Ohtani?
Yes.
Oh.
Somebody had access to Ohtani's money, dude, and they were just taking it from his account.
16 million. How do you come back and know that $16 million is gone?
You know, when you have 700 million in your freaking bank
Oh, we
account,
don't know, man.
I know.
I just think a little bit here, a little bit there.
Now, if it was up, we're gonna know.
Yeah. Like, you fucking touching my money, bitch.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, we'll know right away.
And he's also facing bank fraud charges because somehow he was taking it from the bank.
He was taking it from the bank, and
It wasn't like we could take that to the bank. He was taking it from the bank.
yeah, and then he was sticking up Ohtani's tailpipe with no lube. Dude, $16 million.
16 million.
So originally they had said it was four.
4.5.
4.5.
That whoever guesstimated that was way off.
Guesstimated. I heard that one.
Yeah, they're gonna guesstimate that shit, and they're like, "Sir, you're fired. You're fired. You cannot be 12 million off." How are you that much off, dude?
Stealing 16 million. I don't know, man. A lot of people still think that he's the fall guy.
I have to go back and read that particular story again, because I mean, do they say he has a gambling problem? Like, does he have a gambling problem?
Who?
Ohtani.
Well, they haven't said, but they said the interpreter did. That he had a major gambling problem.
But you're saying that they switched it. They put the interpreter as a fall guy for Ohtani's.
I mean, that's what a lot of people are still saying, because they were so close. And how don't you know that you're missing first $4 million, but now 16 million?
I noticed when I have $1 missing from my fucking account. Like, you can't tell that 16 million is missing from yours?
Oh, not only that, you just see a charge and you're like, where the hell is that at?
Oh, $4.95. What the? Oh.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Now I remember.
So, yeah, he was, apparently this guy was taking money from the bank. He was transferring money from the bank, from the account, to the bookies.
The bookies.
And as of right now, Ohtani is still considered a victim in this case, and he's cooperated fully. Now, they're saying this guy never bet on baseball, but he's linked to an illegal gambling operation. So, and apparently this was happening not just recently. This had been happening since 2021.
Since he was with the Angels.
Since he was with the Angels, yeah. Making 19,000 bets that ranged in value from $10 to $160 per bet.
19,000 bets in how many? In how many years?
In 3.
19,000 bets.
But get this, his winning bets totaled more than $142 million.
Well, and that's also why they're saying
Yeah.
that Ohtani can be
Linked to it because he was fixing things, yeah. But his losing bets amounted to $182 million. So basically, he's lost $40 million.
That guy needs to learn how to gamble. You're gonna be spending that money and like go to a club.
Hey, well-
take that thing that Griswold took in the room. He says, bet with the dealer.
So, but in his defense, you got to think about it. The interpreter is the same as the guy that took y'all's money. He was playing with house money. It wasn't his.
So what did he have to lose?
So why do you think?
Fucking
Man, it's not my money. If I lose, I'm gonna bet again.
So the thing of it is will they try and attach Ohtani to all of this shit, all of this stuff, or they have already said that it's him, it's just him, and nobody else.
That's basically it. That's basically what they said. It's just the interpreter, and that's it.
And he did it.
But again, even if it was, I mean, you think about it. You think about the whole Diddy thing.
Hey,
everybody's somebody's gonna cover for somebody. The whole Diddy thing's been going on for years, and it's just now coming out, right? Of course, you heard about a bunch of crazy parties and crazy things that were happening at his parties, but none of the actual factual or accusations were coming out about stuff that was actually going on or that he was doing until just recently when that girl came out. So,
did you see the video that recently came out? Apparently, that Usher was in with Diddy, and the way it's if I can explain it to you. So basically, the way that it was is like Diddy was holding on to the back of a chair, and that it appeared that something was being done to him?
By Usher?
No.
Oh.
But Usher was blocking what was going on.
So he was aware.
So he knows. So if this video, if it's true, what they're saying was being done in the video, that Diddy was getting railed, that diddled. Usher was the one that was actually blocking what was going on. So you can't see it. Oh, you can kind of see Diddy bent, holding on to the back of the chair, and it kind of appears like something's going on behind him. So but the only thing you see is that front part of him, and then the rest of it is just Usher. So you don't see if there's anybody actually behind Diddy or not.
So basically, when he saw the plane tickets and then he saw the luggage, put two and two together.
Well, that was a video that came out. Apparently, it just surfaced.
Well, then
last week.
You've heard the audio of apparently Diddy and Meek Mill. Have you heard that one?
I didn't hear that. What'd they say?
Well, it's apparently
they're
yes
going at it.
Yes, it's an audio. It's an audio of that.
What?
Yeah, so that's come out here recently.
Yeah, because everything on the internet is true.
That's true.
Well, and I just saw. I don't think I sent it to y'all. I saw a TikTok, a video of Caitlin Clark.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Where she was like, "They're not on my level,"
and she's talking about LeBron.
But LeBron, and you're just doing this because Bronny's not going to cut it in the NBA. You saw that?
AI.
And I'm like, dude, you can see. I'm like, God, that's crazy. But it looks real. It
looked real.
Yeah.
And her mouth was almost sync. Yep. It was whatever but it was AI, and I'm like, there's no fucking way that she could be saying this shit. And of course, I went to go look for it, and there's nothing there. But dude, that's why AI is some scary shit, dude. Yep. Kids use AI to do their fucking homework now.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all knew that, but yeah, you could go to a website and type in a question, and it'll give you the answer to whatever, and basically you could just copy it and use that as your homework. That's what kids are doing. And it's only going to get worse because, I mean, if they can do that with videos, they can do that with pictures, which they've already done, I'm sure. But it's getting to the point where, like I tell you, some people are going to think it's real, and other people are going to be, obviously you're not going to believe it, but more people are going to believe that it's real than not.
People that it's not going to be, yeah.
And that's what's scary, is because these fucking conspiracy theorists like you guys.
Because Bigfoot's real.
Yes, I know.
Leave my Bigfoot alone, mother trucker.
They were talking about it on the news, and they were showing this app, and they were using
and it's real. Yeah. Oh.
No, they were using the app, and you could use anybody's voice. Thing? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And all they were doing was typing something on the computer, and they were using Trump's voice or using Obama's voice.
You can do your own voice.
Yeah.
You could do your own voice now. You just record it, and it takes it in, and
and they're saying because there's so many recordings of like famous people, of course, where they're able to just get the different words and just put it together. Yeah. There's
certain videos that pop up on Boston Sting. And their videos are like that.
Yeah.
So it's a picture. They just show a picture, like they say. They show a picture of Biden, and his voice is talking. It's Biden's voice, but it's not. It's AI because they have him. They got Obama. They have Trump. They have Clinton. So like all these voices are all AI voices, and it's only going to get scary, man. That's something that we should probably look into and talk about, because
the AI.
Because think about it. That's what I'm telling you. You don't know. Like, if the kids got really smart, that all they had to do is go to this chat GPS or chat GI, whatever the fuck it's called, and just throw some information in there, and it finds all the information for it, and they could use that as their homework.
Yeah.
They don't even have to do it.
Yeah.
That's what's scary about it.
So this one's in school, and she. Even one of the professors was, we talked to a friend of ours whose sister is a professor, and the professor was there, and we were kind of talking to her about it, and she goes, oh yeah, I know about all those apps. And she goes, so of course she tries to change a few things up just so that way if they try to use it, it doesn't work. But she goes, people are so smart, man, and they're coming out with more technology than people can keep up with.
Right.
And so there's always going to be something to help them cheat. There's always going to be something to help them, get past whatever they've tried to prevent. So it's happening no matter what, man. They've already said it.
That's the scary part. If anybody can use it, anybody from a high schooler, from even an elementary school kid who knows what the hell he's doing, and who knows what all these kids know what they do. They know how to figure all this shit out. I didn't even know. Like I was trying to edit a fucking video to put on TikTok. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I don't know. But these kids probably just do, and then they can figure it out. So that's the scary thing, dude. And even on when it's a CapCut or something that you can use to make videos, you can hit the AI text, type in 2 or 3 words, and it'll create something for you, just like that. It could be, I mean, who knows what it is, but all you have to do is just put Chicago Cubs, and it'll tell you the story. It'll just come up with shit, and you didn't even have to think about it. It just comes up with it. Scary, man. Scary. You think Bigfoot's scary? This AI shit, it's really scary, bro. I'm telling you. So I got a question. How do you know when it's time to tune your bagpipes?
Is that a joke?
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Tune your bagpipes.
Yeah.
When they're getting blue?
No.
Oh.
Is it true cannibals won't eat clowns because they taste funny?
Cannibals or
Cannibals.
Cannibals.
They won't.
So
eat
these
clowns.
aren't really questions. These are like rhetorical questions.
Yeah, they're stupid.
Okay.
Yeah, they're stupid. Why do airlines call flights non-stopped? Don't they all stop eventually? See? Gotcha. All right, I'll finish with this one. What happens if you get scared half to death twice? No? You don't get it?
Well,
hold on, wait.
Well, hold on. Hold on. If you get scared half to death,
one time.
Okay, so then there's half of you left.
Right.
And if you get scared half to death again,
yeah.
So then wouldn't there still be a quarter of you left?
Oh, it's only half.
Because it's half of half.
Yeah.
See, you used AI, didn't you? Figure that one out.
I'm just saying, there's still a quarter of you left. It'd be like in Austin Powers. Why won't you die already?
Well, fuck the eclipse. It sucked. I don't know what else to say. Rest in peace, OJ. I'm glad Dave Chappelle got to meet you 4 times.
And if you're going to Fiesta, start practicing your ABCs backwards.
Cranky with the crankyism. There it is. That's the ism we were looking for.
We don't need dadisms or momisms. We just got crankyisms. Who the fuck knows how to say them backwards, dude? And if I'm drunk as a fucking skunk, 3 sheets to the wind, I ain't gonna know how to say it.
You don't know how to do it. So what makes you know how to do it backwards?
Yeah. Try it. Try it right now.
Z-Y-X-Y-Z. See? I already messed up.
Take it to heart, people.
I remember they tried pulling that with my pops one time.
What do you tell him?
He said, "Yeah, I'm not doing that." And he said the same thing. I can't even do it regularly. You want me to do it right now? No, I'm not doing that. No.
Yeah, man. Fiesta's coming up.
I would throw it back to them and say, "Well, why don't you do it first, and let me see how you do it, and then I'll do it." Hey, and just if they ask you for a field sobriety test, just tell them that no, you have a bum knee.
A bum knee?
Yeah.
Oh, why don't you just call the DUI guy?
Well, technically, you're just supposed to say no. But if you decide, oh yeah, well, I can't, man, my knees hurt.
Really? That's all you have to say?
Dude, how are they gonna make you walk in a straight line or stand on one foot if you're hurt?
So you're saying fake an injury?
Carry a cane with you.
Carry a crutch with you.
Carry a crutch with you.
Or your emotional support dog. They'll never leave home without it. Like them nervous spread.
Okay, and that's funny. So I was at my client's watch party, and this guy shows up with a freaking big white furry dog that has a vest on that says, it says not emotional support, but service animal.
Okay.
It says service animal on it. And so you're not supposed to go and touch them and pet them, right?
Right.
No, the dog's coming up to you and putting his head on your lap, and I'm like, this is not a service animal, dude. You know? And then somebody started making a comment about it, and they were like, this is why we understand, and just like we talked about, that people go and just purchase a certificate online, and, you know, they can make anything. Why? To get out of paying fees, to get out of having to not to leave them anywhere. They can take them anywhere they want. So yeah,
that picture I sent y'all from inside HEB. That was a pit bull.
Oh, wow.
That was a fucking pit bull that the guy had on a leash inside the store. No vest, no emotional support, nothing. I'm like, oh my God, I was steaming. I'm like, I wasn't going to tell the dude anything, obviously. Like, why? Because it would just cause even more of a problem. But it pissed me off so much. Like, how the fuck? There's people standing at the door all the time. And they let his ass walk right in and didn't ask him one fucking question. They said, nope, go right ahead. Bring your pit bull in. Go ahead.
Okay, so now the pit bull bites you. Do you sue HEB? Or do you sue the dude that...
Who's gonna have more money?
Honestly, I would go for both.
Can you?
Why not?
Oh, well, you sue one and then you sue the other.
Yeah. 2 different suits.
Yeah.
Damn. Unless it has in their policies that, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe they're, we're not responsible, or we don't have to ask, or like, I'm sure it has to do with their policies. Like,
okay, so
you know what I'm saying? But
since we're talking about policies,
we're gonna let them in and not ask them anything. You know,
and if you bite somebody,
well, I bet they've never encountered that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
bro, you know, they're letting these dogs in, not knowing the danger of them.
Dude, it was a pit bull.
Well,
man.
not only that, like Porky said last time, there's people that are allergic to certain things.
You don't know that, yeah.
You know, they could be allergic to dogs, or they could have anxiety and PTSD from a dog.
Dog bites, being attacked. I mean, shit, man.
And so,
but I mean,
how is one person's air quote disability bigger or more prioritized than somebody else's?
Right. Why wouldn't you ask? Why wouldn't you ask if a guy is walking a pit bull
and it didn't have anything on?
Nothing.
Yeah, no.
Nothing. He had a leash.
Nope.
But didn't have a service dog, didn't have a vest. It said service animal, didn't have any. And I highly doubt he had actual paperwork saying that it was a support dog. I'm like, oh, how many pit bulls out there are support dogs? Dude? Come on. Let's be honest. Yeah, that got me. That's how I was like, and the dude walked by me. And I turned around and I went back and took a picture. That's how much I was like, I need to send this picture to
yeah,
him.
Yeah, definitely.
I need to show him. I'm like, what is, and I just turned around and walked away. And I was just...
You know, speaking of policies, right? I'm thinking about the and you kind of made reference to like an insurance. Insurances, dude, are crazy. There's some people that we know that had a fire, right, in their home that flooded the home, right? Because of course they had sprinklers and stuff, and then of course when they came to put out the fire, the water, right? The fire was started in, I think it was like the laundry area, and there was a short due to something or whatever. They go to their insurance to file a claim, and the insurance says, oh, we can't do that. You need to sue Rent-A-Center where you got the appliances from. What? Basically, they're washing their hands because they don't want to have to pay for anything. And they're telling them to sue the appliance company that they got the appliances from, because it was a defective.
Isn't that what insurance is supposed to be?
Thank you.
You have insurance because if something happens, they're supposed to help you and pay for it.
Thank you. And most of the damage wasn't even done from the fire. It was done more from the water.
The water damage.
Yeah. And so they're telling them, no, well, it's not our problem. You know, my son, who was, I told you he was in an accident, fighting to try to get money to get paid. They didn't want to pay him for the car. This is crazy. He was in the accident. They towed the vehicle, right? Because it's totaled. So they tow it. A few weeks later, he's following up and they tell him, oh, well, the insurance from the lady tells him, well, we're not going to pay you for the car because we don't have the car. He's like, well, what do you mean? Well, we went to go and see where it was at, and apparently it was sold in auction. So now that we don't have a car, we can't pay you.
What?
And so my son's like, that's not my fault. Like, I didn't have anything I'm not the one that told him to sell it. Like, I don't have access to that car anymore. And so they didn't want to pay. They didn't want to pay. They finally get them around to saying, okay, we're going to pay. We're going to give you whatever the value was of the car, but we're going to take away the salvage fee. And he's like, but why? I never had the car and got rid of it. That salvage fee shouldn't come to me.
Right.
They still took it out. And then, well, we're only going to claim 70% of the liability. So now we're going to take you're only going to get 70% of what was left.
Yeah.
So what should have been close to 10 grand came out like close to 5 grand. And so I'm thinking, the insurance, right? Of course, insurance always want to pay the least amount of possible,
of course.
Right? Least amount possible. That's why you hire an attorney. Unless you have shit attorneys that don't go to bat for you and fight for you.
But I'm sure there's specific attorneys for shit like that, isn't there?
Well, yeah. And then when you see them on the ads or commercials, and you say, that's the one because I saw he got them $1.5 million.
Because he fights for you.
Yeah. And then you call them and they're like, well, man, there's really nothing we can do. Yeah.
But aren't you the hammer? Aren't you supposed to lay it to smack it down?
Yeah. We fight for you. So
let me end on this too, because this is actually a good PSA for people. Anybody that might have security service, like their vehicle through security service. So what security service like to do, and I don't know, so this has to do with gap insurance, but also as well as security service because of what they do. Not all gap insurance is all the same. Some are different. I don't know. But here's what happened, right? When I got into my accident last May, and of course you're looking for the insurance to cover either everything, and then, well, whatever the insurance doesn't cover, the gap insurance is supposed to cover. That's why you have gap insurance, right? So the accident happened and we're getting the paperwork ready and we're trying to do all this stuff, right? And what security service does, like if you're in good standing, they'll, like maybe in the summer, but for sure, like during Christmas time, what they'll do is they'll let you skip a payment. Mm-hmm. So they'll give you the option. If you want to do it, you have to go in, hit yes, you skip your payment for December, you don't have to pay it. Maybe in the summer or spring or sometime, they might do it again. Hey, you want to skip your payment? You can skip. Oh, yeah, boom, skip your payment. You just pay like $25 every time you do it, right? Mm-hmm. The problem is, so I had the accident, and the insurance went and did everything that they're supposed to do. So the gap insurance is supposed to kick in, right, and pay the rest. Well, when we sent all the paperwork to the gap insurance came back and said, no, you still owe this much money. And we're like, what do you mean we owe this money? Like, you're the gap insurance. You're supposed to cover. That's what you do, right? And they say, no, well, remember those times that you skipped the payment in December, and we show another one for December, and we show another one in May, and then there's one in June, there's another one in December. Yeah. So basically all the times that you skip out, they don't, that's them not covering that time. So they're not covering that $500 or whatever your car payment is. So when it comes to the very end, when they're having to pay, they're only going to pay for those times that you actually made a car payment. Mm. So we ended up having to owe like maybe $4,500 that wasn't covered by gap insurance because those are the amount of times that I skipped a payment. I don't know if a lot of people know that. A lot of people get gap insurance because it's supposed to help. But if you're skipping payments, you may want to check your gap insurance because when it comes time, God forbid, you have an accident and you're expecting for them to pay to cover it, they may not cover it, and you're gonna be you're held liable for paying that money that's left over. So you get what I'm saying, right? Because we had no idea. I didn't know. They didn't, it's not clearly marked on there that says if you skip a payment, we don't have, you're liable for it and we don't have to pay for it. So we're not covering that because you didn't make a payment. There's no gap insurance on that payment. So of course we found out the hard way. So if you having security service or any other bank that allows you to skip a payment, you better go and check your gap insurance because you might be liable for something when that time comes. And you know that sometimes they give you money back for your gap insurance, right? Sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. Yeah. Well, if you skip payments, not getting it back.
They deduct that away.
Oh, yeah. So just a little PSA for anybody out there that might like skipping payments. That's definitely something I'm not doing again. So I just wanted to share that nice little note for everybody out there. I hope you guys have a good night, a good day. Any parting shots?
No.
Love you. Oh man, yeah. I just wanted to throw that out there. Yeah, just be careful. You check your gap insurance. Make sure that you guys, because fuck, you don't want to be stuck with that shit. So.
And hit us up with some dadisms, momisms,
crankyisms. If you have
any Fiesta stories.
Yeah.
That y'all want to share, we'll read them on air.
I really want to know what people think about the dog thing. I'm still on the fucking dog thing.
And give us your feedback on service animals and emotional support animals.
Take your dog into Target. You better hope you don't see me because
I'm gonna take a picture.
Mean dogging that dog.
I'm gonna Karen.
All right, man. That's it. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
Later.